Your dog has been trying to tell you something every single day, in every greeting, in every glance, in every moment they press their body against yours and close their eyes. And the moment you truly understand what they have been saying, you will never look at your dog the same way again. Most owners believe they are doing everything right. They feed them, they walk them, they love them. But between what your dog actually needs and what they are actually getting, there is a gap, a silent gap, that is slowly, quietly, eroding the bond your dog is desperately trying to build with you. Stay until the end, because the last point is the one that changes everything. Satori. Point 1. The morning greeting. The first 5 minutes of your morning are shaping your dog's entire emotional reality for the rest of the day. Not their food, not their walk, not their toys. The first 5 minutes. Here is something almost no one in the dog world talks about. And it sounds so simple that most people will hear it and move on without understanding what they just walked past dogs or pack animals. That is not a metaphor. It is not a cute way to describe them. It is a biological truth, baked into their DNA over 15,000 years of co-evolution with humans. Their brains are wired to orient around a social anchor. In the wild, that anchor was the pack. In your home, that anchor is you. And the moment you wake up and reach for your phone before you reach for your dog, you are sending a signal that travels somewhere deep into their nervous system. And that signal says, you are not my priority. A study published in the journal Applied Animal Behavior Science found that dogs who receive consistent morning interaction from their owners show measurably lower baseline cortisol levels throughout the day. Lower stress, calmer behavior, a more settled nervous system. All from something that takes 30 seconds. You don't need to make it elaborate. You don't need to get on the floor at 7 in the morning. Just wake up. Find their eyes. Say their name with warmth. Because here is what is actually happening in that moment, and this is the part most owners never hear. While you were asleep, your dog was waiting. Their entire world was paused. The show was on hold. Everything stopped. Until you opened your eyes. Because you are not just their owner. You are the main event of their existence. And when you acknowledge them first before the coffee, before the phone, before anything else, their brain registers something that no treat and no toy can replicate. It registers, I matter here. And a dog who believes they matter is a completely different animal than a dog who is not sure. Point 2. The sniffing walk. How many times have you pulled the leash because your dog stopped to smell something for the 10th time in 2 minutes? How many times have you said, "Come on," and kept moving because you had somewhere to be? Almost every owner has done this. And almost every owner has no idea what they just took away from their dog. To understand why this matters, you need to understand how your dog actually experiences the world. Humans are visual creatures. We process our environment primarily through what we see. Dogs are not like that. A dog's nose contains up to 300 million olfactory receptors. Humans have approximately 6 million. The part of a dog's brain dedicated to analyzing smell is proportionally 40 times larger than the equivalent region in a human brain. What does that mean in practical terms? When your dog stops at a fire hydrant or a patch of grass and stays there for 60 seconds, they are not wasting your time. They are reading. They are receiving an entire story. Which animals have been here, how long ago, what they ate, whether they were stressed, whether they were healthy. Every smell is a paragraph. Every surface is a page. Your neighborhood is a novel that your dog has been trying to finish for years. And every time you pull them away, you are slamming the book shut, mid-sentence. A landmark study in Applied Animal Cognition found that dogs who were allowed extended sniffing sessions showed significantly higher levels of optimism in subsequent behavioral tests, compared to dogs who walked the same distance without sniffing freely. Read that again. Optimism. Not just lower stress, not just satisfaction, optimism. The way your dog is allowed to use their nose affects how they see the world. 20 minutes of genuine sniffing does more for your dog's mental health than an hour of pure physical exercise. And when you stop pulling and start following, something shifts between you. Your dog begins to understand that being with you means their needs matter. That understanding is the currency every other point in this video is built on. Point 3. Do you talk to your dog throughout the day? Do you narrate what you're doing? Say their name just because you feel like it? If you do, you are doing something far more powerful than you realize. In 2022, researchers in Budapest used brain imaging technology to measure exactly how dogs responded to their owner's voice. What they found is one of the most remarkable discoveries in the entire field of animal cognition. Dogs don't just recognize their owner's voice. They process the emotional tone of that voice in the same hemisphere of the brain that humans use to process emotional communication. Your dog's brain has developed a dedicated system for reading how you speak to them. And here is what the data actually showed. When owners used a warm, slightly softer tone, dogs showed immediate physiological signs of relaxation. Their heart rate dropped, their muscles released tension, their eyes softened. When the same owner spoke in a flat, distracted tone, the dog's nervous system stayed alert. Not because the words were different, because the warmth was gone. Your voice is one of the most powerful regulatory tools your dog will ever have access to. Every time you greet them softly when you walk through the door, every time you say their name with genuine affection, every time you whisper something to them while they lie beside you, you are reaching directly into their nervous system and telling it, everything is safe. You can relax. I'm here. No supplement, no calming spray, no anxiety wrap. Can do what your voice does when it carries real warmth. Point 4. When was the last time you genuinely played with your dog? Not throwing a ball while you stood still and checked your messages? Not tossing a rope toy in their general direction? Actually played. Fully present. Fully engaged. Making the game feel real. Because there is a difference between keeping your dog entertained and actually fulfilling them. And that difference is the reason so many dogs develop anxiety-destructive behavior and what veterinary behaviorists increasingly recognize as canine depression. Every breed, from the smallest Chihuahua to the largest Great Dane, carries a prey drive, a chase drive, a retrieve drive. These are not behavioral quirks. They are biological imperatives. And when those drives never get to express themselves in a meaningful way, the energy doesn't disappear. It finds another outlet: your furniture, your shoes, your sanity. A study published in the Journal of Veterinary Behavior found that dogs with insufficient interactive play stimulation showed significantly elevated rates of separation, anxiety, aggression, and compulsive behavior. These are not bad dogs. They are unfulfilled dogs. So what does real play actually look like? It means you move. You make the toy unpredictable. Slow movement, a pause, a sudden burst of energy. You let your dog win sometimes. You let them feel the satisfaction of the catch. You build in a cool down at the end. A few moments of calm that let their nervous system return to rest. That sequence, the build, the chase, the catch, the release is not recreation to your dog. It is the ritual that confirms their identity. It is the experience that tells their brain, I am capable, I am alive, I am seen. Point 5. Does your dog have a place they go to when the world gets to be too much? Not a crate you locked them in as a puppy. A place they chose. A corner they return to. A spot where no one calls them. No one follows them. No one expects anything from them. If your answer is no, your dog has been living without something essential. Dogs are social animals who also require withdrawal. The ability to move away from stimulation, from noise, from activity, from interaction, and enter a state of genuine rest is a neurological need, not a preference. A study published in the journal Animals found that dogs provided with a dedicated owner-respected retreat space showed significantly lower indicators of chronic stress compared to dogs in homes where no such space existed. And the key word in that finding is owner-respected. The space only works if the humans in the house understand that when the dog goes there, they are not to be disturbed. This is where most owners get it wrong, without meaning to. They give the dog a bed and call them off at 30 seconds later. They set up a space and interrupt it mid-rest to say hello. And every single one of those interruptions teaches the dog the same thing. There is no place in this home where I am truly safe to rest. Give your dog a place, a specific place. And when they go, they'll treat that space like sacred ground. Because to your dog, it is. Point 6. You know this moment. You sit down and your dog slowly deliberately walks over, circles once, and presses their body against yours. Your arm goes numb. Your show is impossible to watch. You cannot reach anything useful, and you do not move. Most people treat this as a funny inconvenience, a cute story to tell. But what is actually happening in that moment is one of the most profound acts of communication an animal is capable of. Sleep is the single most vulnerable state any living creature can enter. When an animal sleeps, their defenses are down. Their awareness shuts off. Their ability to detect and respond to threats disappears. In the wild, a dog would not sleep pressed against another creature, unless something deep in their biology had decided, beyond all doubt, that this creature would not harm them while they were helpless. When your dog chooses to fall asleep, touching you, they are not just being comfortable, they are making a declaration. Out of every place in the world, out of every surface, every corner, every safe spot available to me, I have chosen you. You are the safest place I know. And the way you respond in that moment either honors that declaration or erodes it. Every time you stay still, every time you sacrifice comfort and convenience and just let them sleep, you are answering their declaration with one of your own. I see what you gave me, and I will not take it for granted. Think back to every point we covered in this video. The morning greeting that told them they matter. The unhurried walk where their nose led the way. The warmth in your voice that reached directly into their nervous system. The play session that honored their instincts. The retreat space that gave them permission to truly rest. Every single one of those things was a deposit into an account your dog keeps track of in a way no spreadsheet could ever capture. And when they press their body against yours and close their eyes, that is the moment. The account comes full circle. That is your dog, showing you the total. That is trust made physical, almost a whisper. You will never be able to look at that moment the same way again, and you shouldn't, because it was never just a nap. It was everything you built together arriving all at once. If this video changed the way you see your dog, share it with someone who loves their dog and deserves to know this. Subscribe to Canine Mind. We are here every week, helping you understand the animal that chose to spend their one life with you. They deserve to be understood, and so do you. Subscribe, pause in motion.